Chuck Emmert with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Today, we're going to take a look at the newest sport to hit Arizona high schools. Kids all across the state are rushing to be a part of the Scholastic Clay Target Program.
Hurl! And that is how it's done.
Well, that may be how it's done, but these kids make it look easy. And in fact, it was a great first year for the Scholastic Clay Target Program in Arizona. From practice to competition, kids, coaches, and parents teamed up to bring home a collection of trophies from the national competition.
This program is designed as a youth development program. It's a program designed to get kids in, to teach them some leadership skills, some self-discipline, some skills on how to work with one another. And we use shooting as a modality, and it has worked wonderfully well. We have got over 6,000 kids this year involved in the program.
Pretty good results, especially when you consider the program in Arizona is less than a year old.
They went from no teams last year to 500 kids in 1 year. It's just fantastic.
Fantastic? Absolutely, and most likely the result of a lot of hard work on the part of this man, Anthony Chavez of the Arizona Game and Fish Department.
I want to thank all of the participants that came out today and shot. I also want to thank all of my parents and all of the coaches, and there's no way that I could pull this off without you, so thank you all very much.
But before the kids could even start shooting, we had to train the instructors.
The instructors are cool. They helped a lot.
They had to learn the proper techniques for coaching young shooters.
But we're not going to talk with loaded guns. If we're going to talk, we're going to unload, we'll talk about it.
We have to go in there and start the youth coach from the beginning.
We are learning to become instructors, to instruct the smaller children in ages 9 and up on how to safely and, with fun, shoot shotgun.
Wow, you have quite a lot of time to shoot that one, huh? Okay.
Giving them terminology that they understand, where in our manual I have some terminology that we teach shooters that they already understand. So we have to go back and kind of redo our thoughts on how to say
Go ahead and try it. Okay, I want you to get in your stance. I want you to point your foot where you're going to break the target at. Okay, you feel ready?
Soon the word was out that Arizona was serious about fielding a competitive effort. Teams were put together and equipment was delivered to shooting ranges around the state for the young athletes to use. It didn't matter if you were a boy or a girl, everyone had a fair chance. Trap, skeet, and sporting clay events are very competitive, and the only way to get better is to practice, and then practice some more.
It's a commitment not only to yourself but to your teammates. If you have the attitude of, I'm tired of practicing for the week, I don't want to go back out again, but then you have to realize that your teammates are also out there working for you. And I think that really played a big part in it. We wanted to keep it fun, and we didn't want to burn out our shooters.
Good job, that was right on top of it. Fantastic shot, but you know what? I think you saw that barrel that time, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think you saw.
But at the same time, we didn't want them to not practice, so our coaches, they kept it fun for them. It was great.
Yeah.
Good job. How good was that?
Good.
Nice job. Well done.
For the parents, it meant switching roles from soccer moms to shooting moms.
We spent a lot of time out in the range coordinating with his teammates. Even when his teammates couldn't make it, we went out. We were going a good 4 times a week out to the range, which for us, it's about a 62-mile round trip.
We live about 50 miles one way from the shooting range. It's about 10 miles on a very, very bumpy road. It definitely got tired, you got tired of doing it, but it was worth it. The kids were having fun, and that was all that mattered.
As good as it was going, time was ticking by. They only had a few months to get ready before the first event. Some of the kids had never even shot a gun before.
Our team started shooting in March, and 2 of our team members hadn't even picked a gun up before March.
I had 3 4s and an 11.
I think I only hit 1, but I think that's okay.
2 4s, a 5.
They started out shooting 5, 6. They were shooting 23, 24, 22s back in the Nationals.
We shot a perfect 25.
You ever done that before?
Nope.
No.
I shot 25.
And the reward for a perfect score? This unique badge of honor will bring them many happy memories for years to come.
When you come to a range, whether it is your shotgun or someone else's shotgun, a club gun, you want to, before you do anything, is to verify that that shotgun is safe.
Safety was stressed first and foremost.
This is safe. It's safer than swimming. It's safer than soccer. It's a terrific sport, and it's a safe sport.
Okay, you always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction, always downrange. That is downrange there. You never point a gun over this area.
We actually have them looking at the target without actually shooting.
All right, pull. Excellent job.
And saying the word bang at the moment that they're going to shoot, so that we can see if they can see the target and see it clearly.
Pull. Pull. Right at the bird. Oh, perfect, perfect.
And then they get a chance to watch others do it too.
They learn proper technique like this move called the chicken.
So this is chicken, and they put the gun right there. Because the children are so small, you definitely want a kid that, does not tire easily. So you want to hand the gun over to them only when they're absolutely ready.
Go. Good job. Good job. Nice form.
Because it's a heavy gun, it's really large. A lot of times it helps with the smaller children to hold the front part of the barrel, let some of the weight rest on there so they're not taking everything and just, draining their energy before they actually get a shot off, because, the most important thing is to get them to get that shot off. So you don't want to put the added stress of something really heavy on them. So when it comes to the smaller kids, you want to work with them on the weight.
Competition was soon underway, culminating in the state finals in May called the Commissioner's Cup. For Game and Fish Commission Chairman Hayes Gilstrap, it was the culmination of a long-time goal.
As we get older and see the opportunity to have kids as beautifully behaved young ladies and gentlemen as I've seen today do a sport that we all love, a sport that we appreciate as participants. We appreciate the safety, the discipline, the teamwork that comes from shooting, and have an opportunity for the Game and Fish Department, for these phenomenal instructors that have been trained and put in the hours, the parents, which are critical to a shooting program. The culmination of all this is, to me personally, is just very emotional, and it, as I say, it's a dream come true.
Our first shoot was in Tucson for the state shoot, and I wept after they won first place.
And our Commissioner Cup winner for the junior division, squad number 27, Wesley Borey, Ian Graham, and Patrick Wood, the Ben Avery Clay Crushers.
They did great, and after that I thought, wow, they're going to do it.
I knew it was there. I could taste it. I knew we had it, but I didn't realize that it would happen this year, in our first year shooting together as a team.
From here, the event shifted to a national stage. Walled Lake, Michigan, and the Detroit Gun Club.
The grounds were manicured, beautiful, green, almost blinding green.
A prestigious venue.
It was like a country club, and we were welcomed at all places. Friendly.
And the best shooters from 15 long-established programs all across the country were here.
It was really, it was an awesome experience to be part of Team Arizona and to also learn what it was all about. An honor. It was a big honor to be part of Team Arizona.
The big question on everyone's mind was, how would the new program from Arizona measure up?
We made such a presence when we walked up with our Team Arizona vests and with our carts. It was awesome. We were well dressed, and we had a good presence.
The teams from Arizona had big hopes, but no one realized, even in their wildest dreams, just how good they would do. Not bad for the first year, and it certainly sets the bar high for the future. Congratulations to all the young women and men who teamed up to make the Scholastic Clay Target Program such a success in its first year. Now we're going to switch gears and take a look at some of the research going on in the laboratories at Game & Fish. The laboratory I'm going to show you, though, is very special and unique. This laboratory lies under the cloudy skies of central Arizona, just south of Roosevelt Lake. It's called the 3-Bar Wildlife Area, and it's really just a fenced hunk of desert arroyos roughly a mile square. Inside, the habitat is the same as the outside, which is upper Sonoran Desert. In fact, everything inside the fence is exactly the same as outside the fence, with one important difference. That 10-foot-tall barbed wire barrier keeps predators like this bear on the outside. Mule deer on the inside live and reproduce without pressure from their natural enemies. Many studies have been conducted in this controlled environment since the 1960s.
Let's go!
But today, Game & Fish biologists are leading a group of volunteers inside the fence on a task that is done year after year, counting the deer at 3-Bar.
Okay, we got a whole bunch of people. How are you spread out on that side?
Stan Cunningham says it's done
so we can compare what's going on with a group of deer that have no predators around, never have to worry about it, to the group of deer here on the outside that do have to worry about it, because there are certainly coyotes and mountain lions and bears, as we saw this morning, out here.
Now, as you might expect, there are more deer inside the fence than there are on the outside, but the actual number will astound you. More on that in a minute, but first, how do you count deer in this hilly country, especially when they don't just exactly stand still and let you count them?
I need some people in pretty good shape to be the first ones go through that gate to go over to that side.
Well, Stan is the man with the plan, and he does it by combining some high-tech with some low-tech to get the job done.
Colored pencil.
First, the group is spread out to cover the entire mile-wide width of the enclosure.
You guys right there, about 5 of you, head down that way on the other side of that girl with the orange vest.
Okay, well, take them down another couple hundred yards.
That sounds good.
Once everyone is in place, the signal to start walking is sounded.
Rogelio, vamos!
The idea is to move as a group in a straight line from one end to the other. If a deer passes to your right, between you and the next guy, you count it. The total is tallied up from everyone at the end.
So you got 2 fawns? Yeah. Okay.
In theory, it seems easy, but the topography of this land makes it a bit more difficult.
When you're describing this on a blackboard, you got a straight line that's moving across and everything is nice and tight, and it takes 15 seconds.
Paul Krausman is a professor at the U of A, and he's here with a group of student volunteers.
And you get out here to do it, and you realize it's a little bit more difficult.
And then, of course, there's the human factor.
There's going to be some students that are out of shape, and they're just physically going to be miserable.
Pretty bad.
And all they can think about is their misery.
A lot of up and down, too. Pretty steep stuff.
And especially if a student that falls in a cholla patch or something like that, they're going to be miserable the whole time.
Well, it's real easy to fall down, a lot of rocks and stuff, so you can hurt yourself real easy.
That's just the nature of the beast. That's just the way it works. So,
some folks steamroll right on through. Others are more cautious in unfamiliar territory. And this guy has a souvenir to bring home. But somehow it all works, and the abundant wildlife resources in this laboratory keep everyone on their toes. Not only do we see deer, but javelina are abundant as well. The other thing that strikes you is the condition of the land. Even with such a large concentration of wildlife in a small area, the forage plants are not overgrazed. It's encouraging news for wildlife managers.
The results have stunned me. We have about 1 deer per 10 acres or more than that inside that enclosure. And all we've done to get that is exclude predators for about 10 years. And we've had this, just a population boom.
A boom because there are no predators to kill the deer. Before the 3-bar study, biologists believed that the amount of rainfall in the winter was the most important factor for fawn survival. That's because the rain provided water to drink and plants to eat. But that theory is changing.
We know that winter rainfall can really influence fawn recruitment. What we found, though, is if you exclude predators, then winter rainfall isn't as important. Those fawns will still survive.
Generally, more water means more things for fawns to eat and drink, and it makes them stronger. Those stronger fawns are better equipped to escape a coyote's attack. What 3-bar proves is that even with good water, a dominant predator will still take his share, and that predator is just as important of a factor as rainfall in fawn survival.
If you exclude predators, then winter rainfall isn't as important.
Meanwhile, back at the lab, our volunteers have pushed a last herd of deer to the edge of the enclosure and then watch in awe as these beautiful creatures race by to escape. It's time to hand in the tally sheets now.
Man, never again.
Good for you, Bill. One javelina.
This is also a good time to talk about what you've seen.
4 javelinas and a fox.
Or what you found.
Found some mule deer antlers about a half mile back. I saw a gray fox and 2 yearlings.
How about you?
Saw 1 doe and a couple javelina.
Cool. How about you?
4 mountain lion and a wolf.
Yeah, right. How about you?
I just saw a couple foxes and a couple bucks.
I got 2 bucks, 4 doe, 3 fawn, and 2 of the does had white collars.
That's really cool. They moved real fast and you didn't get to look at them for very long.
Saw 3 bucks, 2 does, and a fawn, I think it was.
5 javelina. I saw a lot of deer and a rabbit.
A whole bunch of mule deer, rabbits, and javelina.
79 so far. But it's a rough count. We got some more people coming.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't see nothing?
Got 1.
Got
Little deer doe.
Okay, got it.
Tired and a little more than sore, the volunteers head back to their trucks. Oh yeah, I promised to tell you the total. Can you believe 90 deer in this square mile? That compares with just 5 per square mile outside the fence, where predators roam freely. But just how much will this land support? Stay tuned. Biologists are keeping a close eye on 3-bar. But in the meantime, the textbooks are being rewritten as the relationships between predator and prey is more clearly understood. You know, with a good set of binoculars and a little patience, it's not hard to find mule deer in Arizona. They are among the most abundant big game animals found in our state. That makes them popular with wildlife watchers and sportsmen as well. But just how do you score a mule deer? Our resident expert, Bill Keebler, shows us the tools and the methods for scoring mule deer.
Tools used for measuring different animals. The primary one is a cable. It's a steel cable covered with plastic that is essential for measuring the antlers animals. The 1/4-inch steel tape. One very handy tool is the carpenter's rule with a slide on it. It can be picked up at any hardware store. It's used to measure the inside spread of deer, elk. Squares can be used to measure the length and width of heads, skulls, bear, lion, javelina, or calipers can be used. Mule deer antlers are measured very similar to the whitetail, with the exception that mule deer typically branch and then branch a second time, where whitetail typically come all off of the main beam. So they are measured, the main beam is the bottom one here, then the eye guard, then the back point, then this point off where it leaves the other one, and then this point here. Again, just like the whitetail, you have 4 circumference measurements, one between the brow and the eye guard, one between the eye guard and the first branch, and then one at both of these locations where after it branches. And the inside measurement of the main beam.
Now the score sheet has a lot of other categories. Bill, what are these other measurements used for?
It'll ask for tip to tip, and it'll ask for the total outside spread. But those are just information that the form asks for. It's not information that affects the score.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Let's hit the road and go fishing. Most any excuse will do to travel the back roads in Arizona's high country, especially when you can end up at one of the lakes near Flagstaff. One of my favorites is Kinic Lake, a relatively out-of-the-way, open country body of water surrounded by piñons and junipers. This is a great place to fish for trout, and Game and Fish keeps it stocked on a regular basis. This is a perfect lake for a small boat or a canoe, but you can have motors up to 10 horsepower if you don't care to paddle. A small campground at water's edge has 18 spaces, and you don't need a reservation to stay there. While you're there, keep an eye out for this guy, the osprey. He knows where to find the fish. This one flew right over my head with a big trout in his claws. Now, Kinic Lake gets its name from a type of plant native to the area, rumored to have strong medicinal powers. Even in late summer, I found plenty of beautiful flowers lining the shore. Another common sight was this bird, the blue heron. They are very graceful in flight with their large wingspan, and their long legs enable them to land in marshy areas to search for food. It's easy to lose track of time in a place like this, but keep your eye on the horizon and your ears open. Summer thunderstorms can move in fast. Most days they are gone as quick as they arrive, however, and you'll be back on the water before your fishing gear even has a chance to dry out. Now remember, to fish at most lakes in Arizona, you're going to need a fishing license. You can get one at any Arizona Game and Fish office or check out our website at azgfd.gov. I'll see you at the lake.